Hello and welcome to another year of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race on simbroadcasts.tv. We're back and it's time to do it all over again. The 297th RTFR is the first round of Season 1 in 2023 of RTFR. I'm Peter Butcher, you're watching Sim Broadcasts on YouTube because Twitch appears to be having some problems right now. And alongside me it's Chris McElroy in the background and Eoin Harmon in the booth. Hey Eoin.
Happy New Year, Pete. I can understand a bit of difficulty there with Twitch, but we'll persevere regardless.
We will indeed, and we are going to be kicking off this season with a bang. We are at a custom layout that hasn't been used since the 202nd or the 102nd round of RTFR, and before that it was used during the 35th ever RTFR. So that's a very, very long time ago, in 2012, I think.
Goodness me, I think I was still active in Kyoto 500s at that time. Gosh, how long it's been.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Let's get straight into it and see what this season has in store for us all. As you can see, the 300th RTFR is coming up very, very soon on February 14th. A somewhat romantic day, should we say, for the celebration of that milestone for RTFR. But before that, we have 3 rounds of awesome action coming your way. The first is the LX4 at this awesome circuit. You might notice that there are 2 extra rounds on this list compared to the 10 that we had during Season 1 last year. That's because Season 1 of RTFR this year has 12 rounds. Then we go for a 3-round summer break. And then we're going to be back for a 10-round Season 2 at the end of the year.
Well, that's definitely going to add to the stakes, more possibilities. And obviously the big celebration will be coming next month, so that should be very exciting.
Well, indeed. And look at this interesting track that we have for you this evening. It is a modified version of a bunch of different tracks in the Aston Autodrome environment, with the addition of autocross chicanes. So quite creative, and the lap times are well into the 2.5-minute zone, Owen. So we've got a long lap time here with the LX4s, even though the track length is only 5.5 kilometers.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly adds a new flavour to Aston. I have to probably get a bit more familiar with the layout myself as we go along for qualifying. Yeah, it's certainly going to feel a lot different to what we're used to.
Certainly will, but something we're well used to by now is the LX4, a classic in Live for Speed, a 1.3 litre inline 4 front-engine rear-wheel drive car, half a tonne, and 140 brake horsepower. This is one of the best cars to drive in Live for Speed, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. I mean, it is a good, fun car. If you can master this car and its sister, the LX6, you're on track to mastering the physics in LFS.
Yeah, I don't think the capabilities I have are enough for the LX4's challenge, so yeah, I'll have to leave that one to you.
I'm sure you're doing yourself a disservice there, Owen, I'll be honest. But anyway, we'll move on to what happened in the last season of RTFR. A quick flashback to the past with the Drivers' Championship standings as they were only a couple of weeks ago, actually, I think. It was Gabor who won ahead of his teammate by 2 points in the end. Can you believe it? After a heavily fought Season 2 last year. Unite rounded out the top 3, making it a sider's lockout at the top of Season 2. World Class Lines, Joni Katila in P4. Then it was Fatal, Thamuli, Lorenzo, Rony, Pekka Koivunen, and Magic, the top 10. I mean, it was a fantastic end to the year.
Yeah, it was an absolutely sensational conclusion. It came down to very narrow margins, and a different day, the championship could have gone elsewhere. Yeah, a fantastic ending, and hopefully we'll get to see even more names competing at the top. That will make this year even more special.
Yeah, we have over 80 names on this list that we're showing you here, and that will conclude the fantastic year that we had last year for RTFR. And we want to mention again that couldn't be possible without both Rony himself organising the championship, Race Green Events, and of course World Class Lines, who have continued their sponsorship for 2023. You will have seen it during the trailer. There's prize money on offer for both RTFR and RTFR XL, €150 to RTFR and €150 to RTFR XL in 2023. Very, very generous again, Owen.
Yeah, I can certainly testify to that. Very, very impressive to continue the support for the series, and €150 for the prize. The main prize is really worth people's attention, and we'll see how we get on the first step of that journey.
Yes, absolutely. 3 minutes to go in the qualifying session, and as you can see, it's a bit of a difference at the top. We've got a Born to Race car at the front, and it's Upsas, who is no stranger to the LX4. He rose to he pretty much is a master of the LX4. It has to be said. He likes to drive this car. I've seen him using it on some of the lobby servers on Speed, and well, as you can tell, he is nailing it at the moment. He's well out front by about a tenth and a bit ahead of Gabor, last season's champion. Rick Cardle there in P3 at the moment, and Owner, a familiar name to the top of our grid of late, Owen, in fourth.
Yeah, the times really close together between the top five, all within the 2-minute 25 mark. But Upsas, there was briefly a tie for pole position, but Upsas has now pulled clear by nearly 200ths. And we'll see if there's any time left to be the real last hurrah for the likes of Ricardo here on row 2. He'll want to sneak in that little bit extra time while he still can. Lovely power slide there. And we'll see later on in the lap. Here's a perfect example of what we're going to be expecting with these particular chicanes and hairpins that are customly or prepared as a custom layout.
Yeah, Rick Cardle nailing the chicane there. He's got a couple of corners to go. He's going to get time for one more lap, I think. I think he'll cross start finish by the time the clock is counting down. So the tyres in the LX4 don't get particularly hot on qualifying runs unless you've done something weird with the pressures. As you can tell, Rick Cardle is going to prepare for one final lap. Look at this chicane here. This is a long old hairpin corner, which extends the route down to the hairpin, to the next chicane. And the chicane before the main straight has been widened as well, Owen. So this is a lot wider than it normally is. And here we've got Rick Cardle gearing up for a run. So we're going to be able to watch him here as we've got a minute left on the clock. He'll be one of the last cars to cross the line. That is the entrance, very, very deep entrance into the final chicane, Owen.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll mean more chances to get alongside your opponent through that section, and normally is rather fast, and that could be precarious for anyone looking to make a move until the start finish straight. Yeah, we're now joining the Sidus driver on board. The very, very demanding straight. It'll go on and on and on until we finally hit the braking point, turning right. Now you can see the suspension and the turning circles all in action here. Very good camera shot here. And it'll be another long run down before the next corner. And another power slide there. And he has to watch out for the double apex. There you go. Nicely managed there for Rick. And so plenty of tight corners are the name of the game here in the first sector. It's another neatly hit apex. Now this is the it's a bit lag there. Now we're going uphill, the Eau Rouge style corner. Oh, he's nearly on the grass, but he's held it. Yeah, now we have to see a bit more speed. This is where the track begins to open up a bit. Obviously, we've one last left-hander to deal with, and then a right, and then we'll really see the final sector. That's where they'll be hitting the top speeds again. Now another chicane, left and right. It's looking very competitive so far.
It is indeed, and this is the longest run that they have on this lap, pretty much, Owen, other than start finish. It's quite an intense middle sector, so this would be a welcome relief for Rick Cardle. And something very, very different is the delayed braking zone at the top of this hill. This is going to be where we separate people who know how to drive in Alfest from those who are a bit more casual, because this is a really, really tricky braking zone. Everyone's so used to braking at their normal braking zone, but they've got to extend it a long way on this new surface. A few drivers, Owen, will be pretty used to taking that deep line.
Yeah, I hope. They probably don't intend on taking that line as often. But yeah, it's certainly going to add a new dimension. And then the final chicane completed here. And now they run down to the finish. He's aiming for that 2-minute 25.15 to possibly get himself onto pole. It's going to be really close. This is a competitive time. Oh, 2 minute 25.7, so he doesn't improve.
Yeah, not quite good enough, but a good show nonetheless from Ricardo there. A well-timed lap, and yeah, good to put that one on the screen. I believe we're almost done for cars. I don't think we've got too many cars coming across the line. There's someone from WCL coming across the line there. I think that was Soini, was it, or Catella? But yeah, we will see what's going on. I think we've just a few more cars to come across the line. But Upsas looks like he's done enough, Owen, to clinch the pole position for the first race that we've broadcast in 2023. Upsas takes pole with 2 minute 25.15. Gabor in P2, only a hundredth or so behind. Rick Cardle in third, then Ona, Anti-Valter, Sidus Unite in sixth. Fatal for Fragmasters, he had a great end to the year. He's in P7, Asker in P8, Lorenzo P9, and Kun in P10. Then we've got Donny, Michael, Nozzle, who's switched to Race Green, MRC Texas in 14th, Race Green Magic in 15th, Tamuli for ZFRL in P16. He had a good year last year, Owen. Paolo Waleski in P17, Rony in P18, and T-Bug and Soini round out the top 20.
Yeah, and we have 32 entries in all, but let's begin with the 21st runner. That's Yargitilla on a 2 minute 28.85. Number Methanol, Yaroslav Donelik, Pedro Bior, Juan P, Camaro 735, Justin Jamin, and Yoni SVK for the top 30. And then the last row, we've LG Mies and Elsaf Lat, who is unfortunately a long way off the pace in comparison. So that will be up in the air.
Yeah, well, indeed. We're going to take a quick break here and be back for the action in around about 6 minutes' time. We're going to have 14 laps of racing around Aston Classic Boot Chicanes in the brilliant LX4 car in Live for Speed. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment's time. Hello and welcome back to coverage of the first round of the year of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Season 1 in 2023 with the LX4 Aston Classic Boot Chicanes in Live for Speed. Owen, I can't wait.
Yeah, it feels like we've been doing this, a very quick turnaround between last year and now the brand new campaign. So yeah, it is well worth the wait, and I wonder who will get that very first win of the new year. Definitely the favourites have qualified very well, but you never know, this could be one of those times where we have a bit of a shock.
For sure it can. We have a Born to Race car who took the pole position in round 1, and that is Upsas, who is going to be leading the cars down to turn 1. There he is with a 2-minute 25.15 ahead of Gabor, who joins him on the front row with Rick Cardle and Owner alongside on row 2. This is different. We're going to have two Sidus guys going up against a very, very strong Born to Race driver in the LX4, and I'm all for it. We've got a few other names up there who could cause some upset. We've got Owner, Valter, Unite, and Fatal. I think those guys can definitely get in amongst the top 3 as we run down to turn 1. It's not the longest run down to turn 1. We're using the cut through between, the cut through to get to the Aston Cadet track from the main start finish straight at Aston. So it's not the longest run, Owen, and there's definitely room for manoeuvres.
Yeah, precisely that. This kind of car, it sort of doesn't have the aerodynamic prowess with the wings. It's purely performance out of the chassis and the engine itself. So it'd be definitely a different tactical battle to the turn 1 entry.
Well, here we go. For the first time in 2022, I'm delighted to say that we have a grid. Owen, take it away for the start.
Here we go. It's Born to Race beating out the two main Sidus drivers. The lights are on and they're released. Here we go. Upsas away as planned, but Rick Cardle is the wild card here. He can now probably merge in behind Upsas as Gabor stays alongside. Go, seeing if anything else occurs here. Owner looking feisty here as Valta as well, looking for any gaps that may appear. Here we go with the braking. Owner sort of in the no man's land. Upsas holds on to the lead. Ricardo second, so Gabor down 1. Owner might make it a double, and then they've broken quite clearly by a couple of tenths, but now they slow down for the double apex.
Yeah, absolutely. As the cars enter this first tight, tricky corner, it looks like we have a pretty clean opening to the race, touch wood, but it is Owner who is trying to shake up the two Sidus cars ahead of him. Meanwhile, Upsas is running away at the front. We've got a big gaggle behind them, though. Asker in amongst the mix, trying to get through.
You have a car backwards. I thought I saw someone backwards for a moment there. Couldn't spot the name.
Magic is backwards, you're right.
Magic.
As Asker's been forced off the track here, up the hill. Really, really difficult to keep
Justin
the inside line.
Sideways. Justin, he's been tagged. Yari Katela is unfortunately affected there as well, so that's really disappointing for those guys.
Rick Cardle's managed to get into the lead, yeah. He's managed to get past Upsas while all of that was going on, so missed by us, but he's made an opportunistic move in the hairpins by the looks of it. And Upsas is on the back foot. He has to now defend from Gabor, who's also defending from Owner with the slipstream. The slipstream is quite effective in the LX4. It doesn't look too quick, but it certainly punches a hole in the arrow in.
Yeah, and Owner is giving Gabor a bit of a bump draft. But yeah, you won't want to do that for too much longer, as this is the reconfigured right-hander before the final chicane. Upsas late on the brakes, nearly hit the back of Rick, but it was okay. Yeah, the top 4 are okay. Valta very close as well. So this is a great first lap for these guys at the top. They've maintained position at Fatal ahead of Unite there. I think Unite is down a position.
Yeah, I mean, the top guys are pretty much where they started. We've had a few droppers out of the top 10, but the front of this race is absolutely brilliant. We expected this to be an interesting race, a very, very demanding track and a very demanding car. And as we come up to finish the first lap of 2023, Rick Cardle back on the top, fastest lap, and obviously the fastest lap, it's first lap. But there we go, ahead of Upsas and Gabor with Owner and Valter, your top 5.
Yeah, so they have swapped around a little bit, but in general, they are exactly where they want to be, having qualified so well. Fatal, though, could play along into this battle. Now we check out Lorenzo getting through on Donny. That was a clinic move there. Is exactly what you want to do. Get along the inside line and accelerating quicker. And then Nossel could do the double here. He's gone late and he gets right in front of Lorenzo. Oh, I don't know how he's achieved that one. That was very clever. I
don't know whether he spooked his teammate there or what, Owen, but that was opportunistic, it has to be said. Contact with Donny, and Donny's going to get them both back. Nozzle goes back in front of his teammate, and Donny's going to take that with, well, both arms. There we go, he's through. A little bit unfortunate there for Nozzle.
Yeah, that was unlucky. He did a lot of things right, but now he's back to square one, and now Lorenzo, using his rear left, just happened to hit Nossel, and Arska has gained the place. Yes, it's all happening now. The second lap is even more eventful than the first.
Yeah, Anti-Valter's come into a bit of an issue as well because he's way off the group he was with. He was just behind Owner, so he's lost a good chunk of time. I think he's lost about 4 or 5 seconds, Owen. He's dropped right off. He's behind... Who's he behind? He's behind Unite and Fatal now, so a big gap to close up if he wants to fight for a podium now.
Yeah, that's really disappointing for Valta, and Kuhn could be getting through next on Michael. This is a rundown to the sort of penultimate section of the track. Kuhn, yeah, that's clean as a whistle. Through he goes. Rick is not pulling away necessarily. It could be similar advantage compared to what he got after taking the lead on the first lap. We see Rony there has made some places up from his qualifying position. Nossel using every last inch of the track before he needs to use the brakes. So they're going to be fighting away. Watch out for the tyres, though. That was close.
So yeah, that was T-Bug a bit close to the tyres. Rony had to get out of it. He didn't want to be collected with that. Michael and Kun still going at it up the home straight. In fact, I think Michael has dropped back a little bit. Yes, he has. So Kun making 8th place his own. Meanwhile, at the front, as you said, Owen, Rick Cardle not getting away. Upsas not able to effect a pass with the slipstream this time. But yeah, only half a second the gap.
Yeah, it's only marginal gains at the moment. We'll check out LG Mies, who was near the back of the grid. He's actually another driver making up places. And Donalik is not too pleased. He would like to counter that pass. He's in the right place to do it, but he's not going to do what we saw from Nossel there and go very deep before cutting back in. LG Meese not giving up either. He's now forced onto the sausage curb. So
I don't know. I don't know. He left him room.
Yeah, it was fair.
Yeah. I think it was just about fair, but close racing from these two. Good stuff. As Donalik goes a bit wide.
Slapper.
Yeah, drops the wheel on the grass. You don't want to do that here. Luckily, he's got enough of a gap to Mies behind that he's going to keep that place for now. But he's on the edge. This car is always on the edge. It's really, really tricky. Even though it's got lower power than the LX6, it can be trickier in certain circumstances to drive. Unite on Fatal. Fatal's gone wide. Here we go. There's a run down to the hairpin.
Yeah, this is really important for Unite. I remember saying about his 2022 campaign that he just couldn't quite nail those big results compared to his teammates, and now this is exactly what he needs to do to get his 2023 off to a solid start. But now, speaking of his teammates, they are very close with Upsas, and the gap is definitely reduced this time around. And I think, unfortunately, this corner, the way it's got the big walls and the sausage curbs, it will not allow for an inside line heroic. So Rick will have that advantage for the moment, but then the slipstream, it could be enough to have what we see at the minute. It is 0.3 of a second exactly, well, nearly exactly. Yeah, another fastest lap by Gabor this time, though.
Yeah, Gabor had a mighty exit onto the back straight. It wasn't enough to grab a slipstream because Upsas is already tucked up behind Rick Cardle's spare wheel. And again, late on the brakes for Gabor, a bit deep on exit. But these two now glued to each other. This is going to allow Gabor to catch up. because they're going to go side by side through the next corner. And this isn't the best way to overtake. He's just trying to hold Rick Cardle up at this point. He just wants to upset him. He wants to disrupt his focus and remind him that he's there. But that was a bit of a half attempt. Let's see if he can find a place to get through on this lap. He now has to go from attack to semi-defensive mode because, look, he's allowed Gabor to catch up again.
Yeah, that's the trick, unfortunately. You can attack as much as you like, but if you're allowing your opponents to catch up, then you're stuck in the middle, especially when the Alliance certainly will be alive again as the championship was reset. But yeah, you can definitely sense Gabor with his lap time in hand. He was very, very quick, and he's certainly made up for any lost time that he previously had. So Upsas now feeling the heat. And there's Valta and Fatal here. So Valta has gotten back in front of Fatal. Now you can see that on the leaderboard confirmed. Yeah, it's a case where Valta's positioned the car correctly for this sweeper section, but what's he going to do for the braking zone? Oh, it's equaled out. Yeah, so they're going to continue to follow on, but now side by side we've got Texas and we've got the Mooley, I believe. The Mooley got in front and he's blocking off the ideal corner entry spot. Texas for the inside. Oh, we nailed that apex,
nice.
though, but not good enough corner exit compared to the Mooley.
Yeah, the Mooley left plenty of room there and was able to drive right round the outside of him. But we have a fight on at the front. Rick Cardle has been passed by Upsas now on the slipstream down towards the first corner. And Rick Cardle is now on the outside, Eoin, for the first corner. Not where you want to be. What's he going to do here? Try and do a switchback or what? Oh, yeah, he's gone slightly earlier on the brakes and he's going to try and cut back past Upsas. But it's not enough. Upsas takes the lead again.
Yeah, I have to figure out exactly how that came to be, but yeah, it's the scenario Upsas would like. He has offered a slight window there to Rick, just about held it, but Gabor is now probably the one in the awkward position because he can't throw a curveball at his teammate or else they'll both lose time. And then Upsas, he has to predict what two drivers will do as opposed to one.
Yeah, I have a feeling here that Rick Cardle cannot let Upsas break the draft now. He has to keep attacking. Yeah, he's going for it again. He has to keep doing this because I think Upsas, everyone knows that Upsas is a talent in this car. Rick's a talent too, so's Gabor, but don't give your opponents a whiff. Don't give them a chance to run away. Rick has to keep the pressure on now and try and get back. This is going to be a ragtag game to the end.
Yeah, we are actually going to have some blue flags here. This is Elsaf Lat, who will be asked to move aside there. You can just see the blue LX4 now in camera shot.
Upsas was so good out of that final chicane, and he's made a really nice break here. Yeah, the back marker moves well out of the way. Good stuff. But Upsas has got a break on here, and Gabor is back behind his teammate. What does he do now? Does he go for it, or does he push Rick along? He's going to push him.
Quick answer to the question, but obviously Gabor won't be too kind as we get later into the race. He'll want to start the new year off with victory.
Oh my goodness me, Upsas, such a tight line. Yeah. How did he manage that? Such a tight line compared to the other two, but he just pulled away. That was astonishing. He had such a tight line and just had it completely hooked up, and the gap was instant. So the two behind are going to be a bit worried by that as we enter the home straight once again for the fifth time. And well, there it is. The gap's going up and up and up. Upsas is running away.
Yeah, it's definitely the appropriate lead, half a second. That should be enough to allow him to take the first corner as he pleases. And even Owner is less than 2 seconds behind. So we're going to see Gabor on the inside. Rick backs out of it. So this is an interesting turn of events here because Gabor will want to see if he can do a better job and play for victory here. But yeah, Rick will be very disappointed by this. But I suppose that was not the the strong defense, meaning that he obviously accepts this current state of play.
Yeah, he had Gabor absolutely had to slingshot past, else Upsas was just going to run away with it, I think. But here we go. Here's a battle we've got on with Yari and Yaroslav. Goodness me, that was a mouthful. Yari up the inside now. Yaroslav on the outside. Good enough.
Solid enough. Just ahead of them, actually, we've got Magic, we've got Paolo Waleski, and Methanol and Camaro all together. So, Waleski hit the sausage curbs and went up on 2 wheels. So that was interesting. Yeah, there they are now. See, Methanol goes a little bit too hot into the corner. So we've got Paolo again using a Caterham Formula 1 style livery on his LX4. And he's going to go into Eau Rouge, very, very determined, but Magic was in the position. So oh my goodness, is that? Oh, he's gone for the double. That is extraordinary, but he's overcooked the Methanol. Couldn't see him coming.
Oh my goodness me.
That was nearly
ambitious.
And now Upsas has lost the lead. Upsas back down to second. Gabor has done it.
Oh my. While we were focusing on all that nonsense in the background, a slipstream has happened, and Upsas has returned the favour. This is fantastic stuff at the front. We need to pay more attention, Owen, at the front. Gabor, I'm amazed that Gabor managed to close the gap so effectively. It may be an error from Upsas, I don't know, but he's right there. Upsas wide at the middle of the corner. Gabor's got a good exit. Is it going to be good enough for a slipstream? It's going to be a small one. Upsas again, really effective at corner exit, and he's making these Sidus boys sweat, and even Owner now is in with a chance of a podium because Rick Cardle is ailing somewhat.
You're right, Pete. Yeah, I don't see any immediate concerns with Rick. I suppose he's just having to deal with not going for the victory at the moment. He still has time to get it back. It's normal on the Sidus machine. So see what will happen. Yeah, plenty of clutch though on Upsas's car. So yeah, maybe that'd be something he'll have to monitor as we reach the 49% mark, nearly at 50.
Yeah, almost halfway through the race. We will be at the end of this lap. Yaroslav's had an issue, looks like. He's dropped all the way down to the back and is heading into the pits, so not a good lap for him. But meanwhile, Upsas is back in the lead of the race, leading 2 Sidus machines, and they've been holding up each other so much that Owner is now back in with a shout of a podium, tucked in behind Rick Cardle. And, well, what a fantastic start to the season we're having here at a brilliant track. If you're wondering what track this is, it's called the classic boot chicanes version of Aston.
Yeah, I'd have to confirm what the naming convention is all about. I suppose, look, it's got the shape of a boot, so that could be the obvious thing, but I have to make 100% sure of that. Upsas has done better this lap. The splits have certainly shown him gaining a few hundredths. This is where Gabor can catch back up before Upsas's very good corner exit.
Yeah, he does it again.
It is again.
Yeah, it's so strange to see it, but he's done it several times now. He's taken such a tight entry and such a tight exit, but it works, while the others are taking more conventional, wider lines in and out. Upsas is doing something different to these guys, and it's working. Look again, he's so early on the power. A bit of oversteer, but the other two behind him are much wider in the corner. They're driving over more tarmac to get the laps done, and this is what happens. Upsas again coming up to start finish has a massive gap again. Look at that.
Yeah, that's the largest advantage I've seen so far. 66 hundredths of a second there. We'll see if this best opportunity to claim that 1 second window, which could make a massive psychological difference, is possible. Unfortunately for Owner, I think the 2 Sidus guys are very close together again. So he'll just have to... he's gone very high there, but he can cut back in. Yeah, That's okay.
I mean, the Silas boys being close together isn't necessarily a disadvantage for Ronan because they're going to trip each other up again. They are all over the back of Upsas again. I don't know how they're doing it, but the ebb and flow of these top three, Owner, I don't know, he could really throw something in the works here because they are going to end up slowing each other down again. They've been glued together, and if the order changes with even two of those, Owner needs to be ready to take advantage. He's going to go wide here. He's dropped a wheel on the grass. He can't be doing that. But Rick Cardle again dropping off the back of the two ahead.
So Gabor has gotten extremely tight now to Upsas's spare tyre. Rick a bit more overindulgent into the chicane, so he's away, having lost some time. Here we go. The slipstream battle can commence. Gabor picks the high line for this this curve. Upsas will maintain the advantage, but now the second opportunity before the braking zone. A little lift there, so Upsas has control of the corner. Gabor will have to outbrake him. Now it's a perfect match. It's the switchback technique on the way. No, maybe. No, I think Upsas has the getaway once more, Pete.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they throw at him into that hairpin. He's always got the exit. That's basically every single time he's done it, he's had an advantage coming out of it. He'll have another advantage coming out of the final chicane as well. Gabor goes deep. That won't help him. Upsas already on the power. He's already on the power by the time Gabor's turning in. And look at the gap. It's just every lap he's doing it time and time again. Excellent stuff. Upsas is rising to the pressure of the Silas team. And now Rick Cardle's pushing him.
Yeah, that'll reduce the gap somewhat, but yeah, it makes an enormous difference how good Upsas is in the final chicane, gaining probably double the time. And now it's take two. Rick gets his second bite of the cherry to see if he is worthy of dethroning Upsas and taking the honours today. But yeah, this is an extremely exciting opening to the season.
It definitely has. We haven't really taken our eyes off these guys for a couple of laps. I feel bad for the rest of the grid, really. But again, oh, goodness me, all out of shape. Trespasser in the chat reckons that Upsas might be running lower pressures, which would explain the grip. But it might hurt his tyres. It might hurt his tyres towards the end. He looks as though he's running higher pressures in the front. The tyre temperatures are lower in the front than cars around him, so potentially a difference in setup as well as driving style going on here. But the two Silas boys, they really are their own worst enemy at this point. They're all over each other, and not really sure which one of them needs to lead the charge to catch the Born to Race car ahead of them.
Yeah, that seed of doubt in the minds. One of them will feel they can win, but the trouble is they won't know until the very end if it's possible. And Upsas being on his own, that's one advantage. He doesn't need to resort to tactics. He just needs to keep driving as he's doing. So we'll see now. This is a very healthy lead compared to what it was last time. But obviously Rick has regained the second place, so he can try something a bit different if he feels like Upsas is giving him the invite to do so. But again, yeah, a little bit higher this time, but
correction on exit again for Rick. Upsas never corrects. He just nails it every single time. Rick Cardle had to adjust on the exit, and that opens up the gap even more. And this is really Upsas's last chance to break the toe. Again, on the power, miles before the apex. No such drama on the exit. And then the Silas boys are absolutely nowhere to be seen on the corner exit. Upsas is just so strong out of these corners.
Yeah, it's great to see the difference. Really goes to show how the different drivers have thought about the race and got the setups how they want them to be. Fastest lap from Unite, as a matter of fact, so he could get Silas into fourth place to join his teammates directly, and Owner will just hope that something opens up for him. He goes a little bit on the grass. Antivalta on our screens there in sixth position. He is a way back though. And we've lost LG Mies as a disconnect. That's leaving us with the 28 runners remaining. Yeah, so Unite has his first real chance at a shot at this 4th place, having put in that fastest lap. Oh, out of the uphill sequence, kept it steady, but owner's not going to offer him the easy pass. He's going to maintain his lines for the next left-hander. And Unite is just sensing this is his last chance. If he can't get this move done soon, then he will be stuck in 5th with nowhere else to go. As he can see his teammates are catching up to Upsas again.
Yeah, Unite, too much curb, too many wheels going over those sleeping policemen at the apex, and Owner had a cleaner exit, so he's opened up the gap again. But yeah, it's a second gap at the last timing line between Upsas and Gabor. I have a feeling that gap's gone down again. Gabor, he's not done, is he? He really wants to get this back, and I don't blame him. It would be quite a job to beat Upsas here. Upsas really is great in the LX4, and he's doing a good job right now. He's beating the last season champion on merit.
Yeah, that's very true. Golden start to the new season if this stays the way it is. Gabor has gotten much closer though. This could be the make or break situation. Yeah, Upsas just keeping steady for the moment. Slipstream coming into play now. And Gabor chooses the outside line. New fastest lap there, 2:24.91. So Gabor has a nose in front. Can he make it full cars width? No, Upsas has the racing line, but the switchback.
Yeah, it's on the cards. He's on the cards. He's going to be on the outside for the next corner. Slight contact, and well, Gabor's going to need to hold the next 2 corners, the next double apex left-hander on the outside if he wants to. He's going to try it. He's going to force Upsas to take the narrower line. But we know that Upsas' setup allows him to do that, and therefore Gabor has to slot back in.
Oh, Unite in the background is through. Owner has been overtaken, clean as a whistle. So Unite has to put in some extremely good lap times with this clear air now. See if he can get the chance of the victory. But it's Gabor and Upsas neck and neck here. Just slight opportunity. Upsas may have given it up. A very hot entry.
Oh, brilliant stuff.
Too hot.
Yeah, he went for it, and he's going to have to let Rick through. No, he's blocked his teammate. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, my goodness. I mean, fair play, but Gabor has everything to do again now. He's got his teammate right behind him. In fact, he's got 2 of his teammates right behind him. Unite's come alive at the end of this race to get back up to 4th place. Now, we'll be hassling Rick Cardle, but Gabor, he's got to dig deep. He's got one more attempt maybe in him if he can catch up and catch up to the back of Upsas. But the gap's gone up again. It's going to be over a second, surely. Probably not quite, just under potentially. But my goodness me, he threw everything at it and the kitchen sink, but not quite enough.
Yeah, that was a huge roll of the dice. Unfortunately, it's cost him. Unite is more interested in gaining the 3rd place off Rick, so this would be a real morale blow to Rick if he's beaten by his teammate for the 2nd time today. So we'll see how that plays out. But Upsas, in his favourite sequence of corners here compared to the others, he has his chance to increase that 1.02 second lead. It doesn't feel like a big difference, and even Owner now can witness the 2 new teammate battles, or new teammate battle in front of him.
He's going to push him.
This is the push, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to try and push Rick up to the back of Gabor again. It's too big a gap now. I think Unite is probably... it's a bit futile, that maybe. He should probably go for it. And if he thinks he's quicker than Rick, he should probably go for it, because I don't think they're going to be able to catch Gabor together. Rick, in fact, Unite is going for it. He's going to go for the inside. Owner's going to try and get in there too, but Unite now through on Rick Cardle. Rick off the podium. What on earth?
Goodness gracious, yeah, that's a massive turn up, really, with Rick obviously a favourite, having done so well in qualifying. Unite was down in 6th, if I recall. He's turned it around very well to get onto the podium. Gabor has made a bit of an in-swing. Oh, Upsas hits the grass, so my comment is now out of date. That lead is going to be quickly shrunk to about 4/10 now. And this is where it slightly went wrong for Gabor. He went too hot into this right-hander. Turn 7, I believe. Now it's turn 8. And we'll see. Yeah, Upsas is now maybe struggling a bit with his temperatures, or just in general the stress of having been in front for so long. This is going to be tough now. The high line for Gabor out of the second half of the chicane. And yeah, maybe be more slipstream games here, as Gabor is in front now.
Yeah, he's back in the lead. Absolutely brilliant stuff. For a moment, I thought Ona was going to have a shot at Rick Cardle, but just a few wobbly corners for him have meant he's dropped back. But here we go. Upsas versus Gabor again with 2 laps to go after this one. And Upsas is going to be side by side. It's neck and neck. This is brilliant stuff. What an entertaining first round we've had here, Owen. And he's in the lead, but he's on the outside. Can Gabor break later? Upsas is super strong here, but he's gone wide. And Gabor's going to force him even wider. Oh, even over the bumps as well. And Unite's right here. Could we get a shock from Unite here if these two get too close to one another?
Yeah, it's definitely a contender now. They're getting wheels to wheel.
Oh, Unite's right there now. He's right on top of Upsas as they come out of the corner here. And Gabor's been given a chance. So Upsas, I want to say, unnecessarily aggressive onto the entry to that chicane. It's all about the exit. And he's gone in too deep.
Unite is playing a bit of a self-interest game here. He's giving Upsas the opportunity to be allowed into play, but the slipstream will now, the bump drafting and slipstream combination gives Unite a chance at the inside line of Upsas. And he's through, so Upsas down from first to third.
Oh my goodness me, yeah, Unite into P2.
Owner is again just on the periphery with Rick Cardle watching these scenes, and now he could be open for 1, 2, 3 for Sidus. Not at the moment though.
Yeah, I mean the self-interest game for Unite is going to backfire pretty wildly here. Upsas is not going to give this up without a fight, but we have 1.5 laps to go, and they're both off on the grass. Unite's wide. Goodness me, Upsas is forced to go around the long way up the chicane. This is going to give Gabor everything he needs. Oh goodness me, Unite's been shoved off.
Unite's going to slide. Oh. Ooh. Now his progress is wiped out. Owner's fourth. Owner takes P4. And we'll see what Gabor's lead is now in about 15 to 20 seconds. And it seems like these four have just seemingly let the pressure get to them, and Gabor has an advantage heading into the final sequence for the final lap. So we'll see now. Yeah, it's definitely a comfortable lead. Unite gutted to have lost all that progress. Yeah, Owner, as a matter of fact, loses that fourth. He's back down quite away.
He went quite wide. He went quite wide into the previous chicane. But what a race up front. Unbelievable. And you don't give Gabor a lead like this. Upsas will dread, he'll rue the fact that he made the mistake on the previous lap, that he let Gabor have the better exit coming out of the final chicane. Because it's going to cost him here. He's not close enough, and we've only got 1 lap to go. What a finish to this race we're going to have here. Is it going to be Rick Cardle on the second step, or is it going to be Upsas? I think Gabor, unless he makes a mistake, has done everything he needs to do here. Upsas has 1 final chance. He's so strong out of this final corner, but the tyres are too hot. Gabor's got a good exit, and it's going to be enough, I think. Gabor just has to hold on for 1 more lap. Let's see what the gap is as they come across start-finish.
Yeah, 1.09. So that's enough to control this this finish. So yeah, they're so close. 1 lap ago now. Everyone's spread out. So we'll see if there's any more tricks up the sleeves. Yeah, it's most likely going to be Rick Cardle here. He has probably the most realistic chance of making a play here. If Upsas can pull out an extraordinary lap time, this race is certainly not done and dusted.
You don't drive in LX4 around a track like this. You hustle the car around a track like this. It is all about using every single trick in the book to get this car around the track as quickly as possible. Braking while accelerating, using the handbrake if you can, drifting, just keeping the tyres moving all the time in the most efficient way. And well, you can see that Upsas into the previous set of corners was pulling every single string he could to get this car around and closer to Gabor, but it's not going to be enough. I don't think he's got it in the tank. He's got to defend now, probably from Rick Cardle, who's had second wind.
Indeed, yeah. Unite is kind of stranded there in fourth place, on board with Rick here. This is a real chance, but with those walls and all, that will change the picture of this final sector. I don't know if a dive bomb is necessary or even possible here. So Gabor has maintained that 1 second advantage. So it really is what happens in these final corners. Rick brakes at the same time, so he's not going to shock Upsas here. He needs to get a good exit. No, I don't think it's happening. So we'll see if it's a home straight photo finish. But yeah, Gabor just has to get through the chicane. Upsas sliding.
Upsas! Oh, he's gone exuberant style. That's probably going to give up enough time, is it? He's had to correct twice on the corner exit. We're going to have to keep an eye on Gabor here, but it's going to be really tight behind. Gabor finishes race 1 as he finished the previous season in the lead, and he's waving to the finish. But what's happening behind? Is it Rick or is it Upsas? It's just Upsas, who keeps P2, drops 1 position to finish P2. But what a start to the year, Owen. My goodness me.
Yeah, an absolute sensation to begin a brand new campaign. And yeah, the top 5 guys, we are all very, very grateful to them for putting on such an exceptional event. Obviously, we'll see more drivers crossing the line now. They didn't get the spotlight once we felt there was a 5-way battle for the victory. Yeah, absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah, in sprint racing, it's often difficult for to focus on all the action. But there we go, side by side finish by Thamuli and Huanpai there. Proof that there's great battles going on up and down this grid, and we just cannot cover all of them. But fantastic stuff at the top. It cannot be overstated. That was intense, but it is good. It is Sidus who will continue into 2023 the way they left off at the end of last year. Gabor carrying his crown through to race victory here, as we just watched the last few finishes coming across the line. There's T-Bug coming across the line. Jamin will be our final car, we believe. But wow, I mean, you can't ask for better than that, as we watch now our winner Gabor, who will make his way to victory lane in, well, a style only Gabor could do, really. There we go, as he hoists himself up onto the little ledge there. And there he is on the checkered floor, and that is all of the results, Owen. And we have a result.
Yeah, we can check out the classifications now. Yeah, we've seen it for ourselves, but yeah, Gabor takes the first success of the season. 34 minutes 13 seconds. Upsas will be probably feeling what could have been, but yeah, P2, that's perfectly respectable. Ricardo there completes the podium. Unite, a great drive from him, just couldn't quite hang on to that third place that he thought he could have had. Owner best the rest there, very, very impressive drive in P5. Valta, Fatal, Kuhn, Donny and Michael are the top 10, followed by Arska, Lorenzo, Nossel, Rony, De Hamuli, Huanpai, Texas, Pedro Bior, Magic and Camaro 735 in the top 20.
In 21st, it's Jari Katila, T-Bug in 22nd, Paolo Wileski in 23rd, Timu Soini 24th, Johnny SVK backwards in 25th. Then it's Jamin, Methanol, LG Mies, Yaroslav Donlig and Elsaf Lat rounding out your top 30, and Justin at the back in 31st, 12 laps down. Yada was the final finisher. Mies did not finish, but Yada had to spend a bunch of time in the pits due to an issue he had early on in the race. Gabor, with a stunning fastest lap of 24.91, means he was faster in the race than he was in qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. I hope that's right, but there we are. As he leaves now victory lane to say goodnight. We're going to do much the same. I mean, that was a great opening to RTFR for 2023.
Yeah, splendid stuff. Yeah, there'll be certainly plenty more enthusiasm now that we have the first race out of the way. If anyone wants to try their hand for the second edition of the championship, it's only 2 weeks away. So, yeah, get yourself ready and see what combination appears for that one.
Well, speaking of combinations, I know what it is. It says TBC on our calendar, but this is a great one. I mean, get ready for it. We're going to be going to West Hill International in the Prototype 2 mod for the 298th RTFR. Rony is gearing us up for a spectacle on the 300th. I'm not sure quite how we're going to beat that. Prototype 2 at West Hill International will be the next combination for RTFR on January 17th. That's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, it sounds brilliant. Yeah, yeah, it was announced. Yeah, I did spot that, but I suppose it didn't click into my head. Yeah, so that's another highly anticipated mod race that we'll be looking to see what happens there.
We sure will. That will be happening in 2 weeks' time. But then after that, we're going to be heading off to RTFR XL. We're going to be covering RTFR XL again in 2023. And we can't wait to see you for it. We hope to see you around. Please check our website at simbroadcasts.tv to check out our broadcast calendar. And for everything that we do, all of the information is there. I'm Peter Butcher. I've been joined in the commentary box by Eoin Harmon, Chris McElroy in the background, calling the shots. And thanks to our drivers, thanks to Rony, thanks to WCL, well done to Gabor, and thanks to you, our viewers, for switching between 2 different streaming services tonight because Twitch was having issues, but appears to be back. What a way to start the year, and that was fantastic. We'll see everybody very soon. Don't forget, we have Master Race Cars Rallycross Championship on Sunday this week. That's resuming. And we also have the first round of FM GTI Thursday for 2023 on Thursday. So please join us for more action in Need for Speed in the coming days. It's going to be a packed schedule, and we look forward to having you with us. From all of us here to all of you, have a great night. See you next time.
Bye-bye.